Might be wondering, what do you need from a sales rep in your business? Well, like once you hire them, they actually make you the money. You figured out that they're a player. What's the next step for that? What is the actual next step to make sure that you contain and sustain this A player? One is, well, just continue to scale. If you're someone that's ambitious, you guys will mesh real well because you show them that, yeah, I want to scale this to 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, $10 million months. And they're like, hell yeah, bro. Like, I can make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, even $100,000 in commissions a month. And with us for a sales rep, they're like, that's really good because some businesses don't even get to that point where they can make $100,000 profit. Two, you can tell them you can get to managerial roles, grow with the company, and make even more money doing that. You can teach them how to start a business. That way, because A players aren't just going to stay in the business and just continue to be a sales rep. They usually want to grow within the team, grow within the community, within the industry, so they can actually make so much money because they are a solopreneur or infopreneur at first, right? They're gonna want to go to business, figure it out, and then do their own thing. And look, if it doesn't work out for the business for them, they can always just fall back to you, and you're gonna always come back and say, "Perfect, you can come back anytime," because they make you so much damn money, right? Who doesn't want someone that makes them $1 million a month, right? If you can have someone like that, perfect. Kids, like, let them do what they want because you don't want to burn the bridge. That's another. Don't burn the bridge between these A players because typically A players know other A players, so you can get referrals from them. You can actually ask them, "Do you know anyone else that is as good, or even like not even as good, but somewhat decent that can come into my team and actually make $20,000 to $30,000 in commissions, so $300,000 a month in annual revenue per month?" And then, like, they can usually refer you a couple people because when they know your business is good, it's ethical, makes some money, makes you money, and I'm like, perfect. I know a couple people. So if you're able to do that, that's perfect. That's actually what you need to do. And then three, the last actionable step is not letting your ego overtake actually growing the business. Because the biggest thing I see is that with business owners and A players is that their ego comes into place. Where you're like, bro, like, this guy's doing so well, but I don't want him to do too well, right? Because then at some point it's like, who's the actual leader? The sales rep or you? And typically, a lot of people don't mesh well because business owners have their own ego. They're like, damn, like, I can sell as better than this guy. Like, why is this guy doing so well? And just don't let it get to your head because this guy's been doing sales. They're just really good at sales. You're a business owner. You have to know some people are going to be so much better at you at some things, but you are holding this business down, right? You're making sure everything works well, meshes well. So you're a leader. You're not going to be a sales rep. You're going to be a leader. That's the biggest thing that you need to see, because quite often I see this a lot is just they just don't mesh well because one, the sales manager is in place as well. I don't. If you have an A player, I would recommend not to have a sales manager. The sales manager or team lead would just be the best sales rep on your team. Typically, that's the best thing because you don't need a person that just micromanages. You can see this with Daniel Ellis, who just has one team lead and just continuously just has that team lead talk to them. And they get paid a bit more, of course, because they want to get paid more. But you don't need a sales manager because typically good reps don't want someone micromanaging them. Great reps, I mean, good reps usually it's our fight. But those are the three actionable steps. And I'll show you two ways. When you do implement them, you have a great relationship with sales rep. Is going to be super good. You guys are going to get along well. You'll make so much money and you have a long term business because business partner as well, because you never know. This guy might actually want to work with you in the future. Or two, if you don't implement these things, you actually get an enemy, a rival, who will go to your competitors, work with them, make them so much money, then get their own company and then go against you. They'll do everything in their power to make sure you fall, not in like a way where it's like, oh, that's the only thing. No, because they want to show you with results. Because A players have such a high drive that whatever they do it to the fullest extent. Just think of a business owner. They are a mini business owner themselves, but they have a hunger to them that not a lot of business owners have at this day. So those are the two steps. And I honestly wouldn't want an A player as my enemy. Would you? You've seen those companies where they started a business because they hated the other company, and typically they get far up. Like Microsoft, Dell. I think I just said the same thing, but Apple with Samsung. Like those two companies are like head to head all the time, and then Samsung has this other like Montreal. Like there's a lot of other companies, but typically those two big companies is what you see, and those are rivals. But they have many rivals under because typically they just don't listen to the people under them. They don't salvage the people, the reps as you call them, but they just don't do that. And then they get so many more competitors. So it's just so much better to hold your competitors close to you, have them near you all the time. Because as someone says, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. So you can think of them like as long term enemies. Like long term, they could be your enemies, but you have to make sure they don't. So that's my biggest thing with A players because, of course, hiring, making money short term is good, but long term, you want to make sure you have good business partners as well. Because as you can see with all the million billionaires, multi million, billion, whatever it may be, they have good partners that came up with them. They might have backstabbed some, but they actually made so much money because of the partners that they had because they understood the value of connections. Do you think Donald Trump would have become the president if he had the connections to become that? Do you think any of those like big CEOs and like big brand companies would get to that point if one they didn't have the, of course, the mindset, the vision, and all that, but the connections? Because of course, there's lots of people that have the vision, but some people could just say this is delusional, it's not going to work out, and they just accept and say no. But because they had the connection to do so, they make so much more money. They make actually they're the face of the brand now. You get what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing. Like you just need to make sure you know the right people to make the right amount of money. Because I know as an infopreneur, info, consultants, agency owners, usually that's not going to be sustainable long term unless you're one of those coaches that made already $1 billion exit. And it's like, okay, sure, whatever. That could potentially be because you can do any type of coaching offer, but it's not going to be sustained long term. You need to make sure that you can have something that could sustain you, could have a business partner, and then have another business eventually using your skills to actually have an exit. And of course, you can always do more info, more info, more info. But how long do you want to do that, right? But that's off topic. The sales reps are the biggest part because that could all lead you to the really good ending. Or on the flip side, where you just don't have the connections, they actually shit on you, and yeah, that's pretty much how you get you get shit on because they know you're in a process. They know how you do things. They know your client fulfillment, so they can act like typically. Like usually, the people that are actually can screw you over the most are the people that are in your team, which is crazy, but that's how it is. That's how business is. So you have to hire with true intent with the actual people that you know. And when you do fire them, you have to change a couple things because you don't want someone just to implement everything you do and then basically it's a copy paste. You don't want that because people can just like go on different programs. Usually, people are lazy right now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And look, if you want to work with us, we have a link below. You can just book a call, but it's only for people that are making more than $100,000 per month. I know. Usually, people with $100,000 a month, they are a little bit more higher up, but because we work with people under, and it's just not going to work out for you and for us because A players don't want to work with people that make less than $100,000 a month because $10,000 commissions is the bare minimum for them, bare ass minimum. So if you're doing those type of months, $100,000 per month, just book a call below, and we can see what we're going to work. Peace.